Alright, what you see here is a Hampton Bay Callaway 2 ceiling fan. It's in the textured white finish, and I got this off of Facebook Marketplace with Nathan, better known as Epsilon 120, along with a few other fans that day. This was actually the only one that we were intending to pick up, and then there was like a few other ones we found while we were driving, so we figured to pick up those as well. But yeah, this fan came with a spare receiver, so I used that on the other ones, but the receiver on this one was working just fine. This fan is from May of 2001, so it's a pretty early one. The Callaway 2 was it's not that much of a difference in terms of like the body of it compared to the original one. The only thing is that the blade arms, well, not the blade arms, but like the badges on the blades are a bit different. They have like a different look of a shell on it, and they have wood blades, not plastic blades like this one has. This one uses the Glassman One blades. This was introduced in the year 2001 along with the World War II and the current version of the Hampton Bay Industrial. Before that, there was the SMC version. Then before that, there was it's like a relabel of some Emerson heat fan, as you can tell that they sell nowadays. Yeah, I've always liked the look of this fan, especially with the light on it. It definitely has a very unique look, since that's the type of light you see on a lot of, literally everywhere nowadays. But to see one just mounted on a fan like this is definitely an interesting look. The original Callaway is basically a knockoff of there's a Regency fan that looks just like the Callaway one and such. Could also just be a real label, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I definitely would like to find the original one. The original one came in, I'm pretty sure it was off-white as well, and it also came with a Verde finish. The Verde one has oak blades and bleached oak blades on the other side, I'm pretty sure. I do see those from time to time on Marketplace. However, I don't see these ones as often. And then there's the very rare version of this that came out, was only sold for the first year that these were introduced, the sandstone finish one. It's definitely one I'd love to find at some point. But yeah. And unfortunately, the remote that I'm using on it is not the original one that it would have came with. The original one that it would have came with would have had the dimming setting on it. I do have one that can do that. That's the one I came with, the white Windward 2. However, that one seems to have issues responding to the receiver. So until I can find another one that can dim, I'm just going to test this one with a remote that doesn't have the dimming feature. So yeah. Let me go ahead and show it with the light. As you can see, it does work. I am using two 40-watt incandescent light bulbs. I usually don't use the incandescent bulbs, as they can kind of break easily if I move them around or just shatter and such. However, the only issue is with the LEDs on this fan I've noticed is that even if the light setting is off, they still kind of have like a very low dim to them, where one of them would stay on for some reason, but it was like very low dim, and then when you turn it on, it would stay on, but when you shut it off, it wasn't completely off, so I had to get incandescents for this one. Well, they're 40-watt bulbs, so they're not going to overheat inside. But yeah, I definitely do wish that they made the Callaway 2 in different finishes, not just textured white and sand. So I feel like I feel like that the Verde finish could have lasted a little bit into the 2000s with this one. Also, they did like a black finish with like reddish looking blades. I think that would have looked pretty unique. But yeah, there's the motor to it. And there's the Hampton Bay logo. And there's some information on the top. But yeah, it does have a metal ball, so that is why the paint's chipped off on it. But Yeah, let me go ahead and turn off the lighting around me. That way I can get a better read on how much light this gives off. Alright, so it actually lights up the space pretty well. I mean, if it had brighter, like if it had 60-watt light bulbs in there, I'd probably do a better job. But I figured I'd put 2 glass bulbs that would actually fit inside of it. I didn't want to get one that were too big and such. But yeah, let me go ahead and start the fan off on low. Yeah, I remember my godmother, her living room, one of my godmothers that was up in here in the United States. She has a living room that had like an arch ceiling, and I always thought that one of these would have looked really cool in there. Still do to this day. It's the house that I did a video of a while ago that had a Verde flush light kit, literally the same type of light kit as this, but it was a Verde one in her kitchen. But I mean, I always thought one of these would have looked really nice in her living room. The only problem is the ceiling's very sloped. It's like on a sloped ceiling, so it would be kind of tricky to install it with how sloped it is. Heck, even the 90s version I think would look cool. The original Callaway. But yeah, from what I've heard, this isn't as powerful as the Windward 2, despite it having lost more wind blades. However, I do hear that it is still a very powerful fan. It's honestly a fan I would not mind putting in like a sunroom. I mean, it has plastic blades, finish on it. I think will look pretty nice there. Definitely in a laundry room, I wouldn't mind putting one of these in as well. In fact, that's like a spot that I could always picture this as a kid and install like in a laundry room at a house or something, or a kitchen. There is a cousin of mine that had, I don't know if they still have it in their bedroom, but when I went to the house back in 2003, there was one of these in the bedroom, flush mounted. It's actually the first time I ever saw one in person, aside from seeing them on display. And they had 2 Landmark 3s and the bedroom 42-inch ones. One in each of the smaller bedrooms. The master bedroom had one of these. The living room had something. It was some sort of fan. One of the rooms, like the office rooms, had a Remington 3 in white and brass. And there were 2 other fans, I forget, or 2 or 3 other fans in other rooms. I forget what they were. I don't even remember what they look like, but I haven't been there since 2003. But maybe one of these days, if I ever do go there, I can see if they will let me do videos of them. But it's possible, but who knows? But or just get even pictures of them. But yeah, has a bit of a fast low speed to it, especially compared to the Windward 2s that I've tested. And this one, since it does have the down rod, I think I just show it with the down rod. But yeah, it's definitely one of those unique fans from like the late 90s, early 2000s that was considered modern back in its day. But looking at it now, it's very an obscure looking fan, like compared to modern standards for today and such. But yeah, I feel like it would have been pretty cool if they had this in the Verde finish with like fake wood grain looking blades. I think that would have looked pretty nice on it. And they sold these up until about, I think 2007 was the last year they sold these. So they were around for quite a bit of time. Alright, now to show up the light. It is a bit cool in the basement because we are going into winter time now. It's no snow outside yet, but just on the low speed, I'm feeling a pretty good breeze from it over here. And that's also the reason why I figured I'd leave it on the down rod. Instead of flush mounting it out, I can get more of an accurate read on how much air it moves. Plus, it's easier to hang up or install it while it's on a down rod with the type of mounting hardware that it has. Alright, now to move it up to medium. Now I don't remember how much these were back when they were being sold. I know they were a little bit over 100, maybe 120, 130. I'm not 100% sure. It is moving a pretty good amount of air actually on medium speed. It's actually pushing more than I thought it would. But yeah, I definitely do need to seal off that wooden beam board there at some point. That way it doesn't get too cold down here when it's cooler out than it already is. And this because I don't want like the cold moisture from outside coming in here because it can definitely mess up the fans that I test. The way it is right now, I definitely want to do anything but like when it's like snow out or something like that and it's cold, I definitely know that could definitely damage the fans in here, even if they're up for like a few hours. Cause the weights to warp a bit possibly. Something I always did find interesting though with these is that you can literally see the motor though. I never even noticed it due to the pictures in the catalogs, but like seeing it in person, I always found it interesting. You can just literally see the bare motor and such. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move it up to the high speed. Alright, and here's high. So one thing I can definitely say right off the bat, it's definitely not as fast as the Windward 2, but it is pushing a very good amount of air. I gotta say, it's definitely a good air mover though, without a question. I mean, I definitely could say it's definitely not anywhere close to K55 air movement like the number two is. But it's definitely much more powerful than the majority of the Hampton Bay fans that you were selling back in the day. If anything, I can definitely say it's about the same as like a Cameron 2, even though it has lots more wind blades. I'd say it's around like that area of air movement. I mean, at the same time, I am assuming this is the highest speed. Like this is the capacitor on this isn't bad. So it's not like it's going slow on the high speed. It's definitely a pretty good high speed. I mean, yeah, no, it's definitely moving a very good amount of air though. I mean, I really don't think that the receiver in there or the capacitor is bad. I mean, I feel like it would definitely be going slower than this on high speed if it was. I think it's just more so that I was thinking it would be somewhat closer to the high speed of the number two, which it is pretty close, but I mean, it's not like I've seen a lot of videos of these being tested and such, so that's the other reason. I'm gonna go ahead and show up to white. I think actually, now that I think about it, it actually might be a little bit weaker than the Hampton Cameron 2s and such. Which I find surprising considering it has Glossman wind blades, but the only reason why I think that is not as powerful as this because the motor, I'm assuming, is not a 188 by 15 motor, which both the Windward 2 and the Cameron 2s use. It's about like the same air movement. It's been a little bit since I've tested. Well, it's actually been almost a year since I last tested one, two. So there's last one I tested was the Rush Steel one, with the Cobalt Blue blades. So I would definitely have to like test one more, another one, just to get a more accurate read on the air movement again. But no, it definitely is pushing a very good amount of air, especially for something that you could buy at a home center back in the day. And it's definitely pushing a good breeze underneath it. Alright, now to do spin down. Then I'll show it on reverse. One thing I'm thinking is that when they were selling this and the Winward 2, this is kind of like maybe like a more economical option for a person wanting to buy a fan with Glossmer wind blades compared to the Winward 2. Cause I know for a fact that the Winward 2 was definitely more expensive than this. So maybe it was like more like a budget version of like out of the two fans for residential use that had Glossmer wind blades. So that's probably the other reason why it goes slower than the Winward 2. I'm not sure who made these, so I think it's either King of Fans or Air Cool. Could be a combination of both, but I know for a fact it's not made by SMC. That's without a question, but yeah, it definitely isn't a bad air mover. It's just not as powerful as the Winward 2. But it also doesn't go as fast as the Winward 2, so that's another reason why. But yeah, the only fan I'm missing from the Glossman Wind series is the industrial, and that's about it. Well, I still need to get the sandstone version of this and the other finishes of the industrial. But aside from that, basically I'll have like all three models from it. Definitely would like to get the industrial at some point. I just don't want to pay retail for one, especially with the price going up on them. If I can find one used that's in good shape, I'd rather just get that because they're definitely very common in my area. I see them in a ton of auto shops, especially in warehouses. Like I see those a lot. Either those or Silverlines. It's usually what I've been seeing. All right. Go ahead and start off on low, but reverse it. Definitely can say that it would probably be quieter, like it wouldn't hum as much as it does if it had a plastic ball instead of a metal ball. Cause I do know that when a fan has a metal ball, they tend to hum more. It's not like that it has a horrible hum to it. It's just I'm just know for that would be more quiet without the metal ball and such. All right, now for medium. Definitely does hum more in reverse. Alright, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.